Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another video off the beaten path. So I'm back in this little area, and I'm going to be doing, I guess, some land management, some tree management. I want to get rid of this stump and that one over there. You've seen in one of my other videos, I was cutting this out, having a little bit of issues with my chainsaw. Hopefully today I don't have those issues. I've already gashed it up, put bar oil, and sharpened the chain with just a little file. So yeah, I'm gonna start with trying to remove these two stumps and get them over to the burn pit area. And then there's a few others around the property. Sorry, a few other trees that I want to kind of just cut and clear away, and hopefully just clean up just right outside the cabin a little bit. Now, we have 40 acres out here, and there's a lot of down trees, a lot of dead trees, things like that scattered throughout our 40 acres. Most of it I don't really care about. I'm not even going to touch for a long while. But the ones right around the cabin that are just like the eyesores, are just, you know, dead trees just sitting there. I just want to get rid of it. I want them gone, clear it away, trim up the trees so they look nice. So that's the goal for today. And so yeah, hopefully my saw is cutting and everything will be okay. Yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to work. Swap out the batteries, but well, we got it over here. I'm by the sawmill, and show you real quick. This is like a little fire pit area, or I say a large fire pit area that me and Ashley made. And I wanted this specifically to burn those stumps. So last night I had, what, 3 of them in here, smaller ones. And yeah, you can see there's dirt in it and stuff, and that's fine. It's the best way I can think to get rid of these right now. I don't have, you know, a wood chipper. I don't have a stump grinder, you know. I don't got none of those kind of crazy tools. And I don't want just storing it here, you know. There's no point in keeping it. So burn it, have a nice bonfire. But I don't know if I'm gonna bring it all the way to the pit right now. I kind of just want to keep working and just collect them over here. This is kind of where, you know, this is our juniper graveyard, I'm calling it, where all the down trees and stuff, I'm just gonna start bringing them over here. We have a couple of decent, I don't know, posts, I don't know what you want to call these, but these ones were kind of straight, so we're keeping these, you know, in case we want to build, you know, a fence or, you know, something like that. We've got some decent ones. So we may end up making a pile of these as well. This is kind of an experiment. But this is bonfire stuff right here. We're just gonna have fun and burn this. So I need a spot to just dump it. I think I'm just gonna put it right here. I got to get it a little bit closer, and yeah, just put it right there, I guess. Okay, so I'm getting the second stump over here. So I'm using the winch off of the side-by-side, and I laid the board down, right, and then I just pulled it so that it would just fall onto the board. That's pretty much what I did right now. And then I'm gonna come back around, and then here's the rope for the board. So I just got it on there. I still need to disconnect the cable, the winch cable, but yeah, it came out. It's what I freaking needed. Get this thing out. This big old, what is it, a caterpillar? That's a hairy caterpillar. But cool, getting it cleared out. That's the goal. All right, I'm gonna disconnect this cable. Now I don't have all the proper winching stuff, like, snatch blocks, all the proper shackles and things. Like, I do have one shackle, and I have a sling, a small, I don't know, maybe like a 3-foot sling, and one shackle, but the actual ring here, or the hook, it doesn't fit over my shackle. So I have a heavy duty, I think it's like 800-pound, 500-pound D-ring that I have to put in the middle of the shackle, you know, then I can connect the hook. So yeah, these are just things that I've collected over the years, from, you know, like garage sales, you know, old jobs, things like that, just different places. Over the years I've collected all kinds of random stuff, and I'm just using what I got to get this job done right now. Okay, I'm gonna move the side-by-side and then hopefully yank this thing out of here, which I may still use the winch to drag it out from underneath these trees, because I don't think I don't want to scratch up the side-by-side and deal with that. So okay, Let me get to it. All right, it's working. Cool. So that worked pretty well. All right, for round two, again, I'm just gonna drag this over to the other area and continue tidying up over here. Let's see if I can sit you guys down. Alrighty. I'm gonna turn this thing around. Over everything. So until I get an actual trailer, you know, I want a small utility trailer that I could put behind this thing and maneuver and all kinds of things. But until then, you know, this is what I'm kind of got to do. And the board is better than just dragging the whole log, because then I'll really start messing up the ground out here, and I don't really want to, you know, tear up, scratch holes and shit. So. Something. She's always just taking off and kind of going wherever she wants. All right, that should be all right. Where did you go, huh? What did you see? Good girl. Need some water? Come on. So I always keep a little thing of water here for her. I guess she's not thirsty. She knows her little water bowl's right there. All right, so cool. I'm just gonna try to tip this thing back over. Let's see. gloves at? Do this. Go. Cool. All right, that's good for right now. I think I'm gonna try to trim some of the trees. Just kind of clean them up a little bit. Yeah, let's go do that. Luna, come on. Good girl. All right, put my gloves down. Everything, all these trees just right outside the cabin, I wanted to clean up. So I kind of cleaned this tree up right here, and you can see, you can see the trunk of it, and you can kind of walk underneath it. This one is low, right? So I want to cut all the limbs down so I can at least walk underneath it, like all this right here. I'm gonna clean all this up, and then slowly work my way around the driveway and just clean up some of the trees. So let's get the chainsaw going and cut some branches. All right. So, I mean, that looks a little better. I mean, I could probably trim some of this up, but I think I'll just come in here and just trim a little bit. But at least opening it up a little bit. Not too bad. All right, let's take this to the juniper graveyard. And yeah. Let's see if Luna wants to go. She's over there hunting for mice. You want to go? Or you want to stay? Okay, good girl. Looks like she wants to go. Oh. Next one I want to come get. This is what I mean about just the eyesore, you know. I think that's gonna be the next one to come in, try to remove. Lost the load. Damn it. Well, guess we gotta go back. I was hoping that would stay on, but not surprised it fell off. Just a flat sheet of plywood. Watch why I want a trailer. Well, that shit won't happen when I get a trailer. We can't get a trailer yet. And I should come around the other way, huh? Okay, let me brainstorm. Okay, so I picked that up and I got it over there. Since the chainsaw is deciding to cut, I think I want to take this out of here. Again, this is just, you know, our main road, and I just don't want to see this anymore. So I think I'm going to cut it right around here where the stump is, and then just start cutting off some limbs, just so it's easier to move around and stuff. And do the same thing, just put it on the board and get it further down that way. So let's give it a shot. Okay, I mean the saw's cutting, so that's good. Got a few limbs off it. So I'm gonna take these. I don't want to overload it again and then it all falls off halfway down there. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. So I'm gonna go unload and then come back and do it again. Let's see. All right. Hopefully it don't fall off. Luckily, I'm not taking it far, but just to right here. This is the snake and lizard fucking playground right here. So hopefully within the next, I don't know, couple years, we'll eventually get through all this. And I know I've said this in probably like 3 or 4 different videos, but once we get a wood chipper, I'll probably just turn a lot of this into mulch. So I'm kind of okay just letting it be right here. Again, previous owners had started this pile. You can see where the cabin is. That's where they pulled all the trees from, right from the road. So they pulled a bunch of these trees, and it seems like they just pulled them and then tipped them over, threw them off to the edge. Started a pile, but not everything is piled right here. They just kind of made piles all around the cabin, which for me, I don't like that. Now that I'm here full time, I don't want to look at it all the time. So I'm cutting it down, bringing it here. All right, so I made some progress on the tree. Let's see it. Boom, looks like I got a haircut. I'm not done, still got to finish, but my batteries were both charging. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to show everything. For you, it's probably been a second. For me, it's been a few hours, but I got a battery back in, and we removed the whole dead tree that was laying down right here. Got the stump out of here, got the whole thing gone, right? Here's all the debris left behind, and now I'm trimming this guy up. Today, the saw's doing good. I don't know, it's cutting everything, Some days it cuts, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if it has a mind of its own, but I don't know. Today it wants to work for me, so I'm getting some work done. So I'm gonna keep trimming this tree up. Again, I want to get them skinny enough to where you could pretty much walk underneath it. So this low-hanging area, I'm gonna start getting in there now. So I do a little bit. I load up the plywood here, and I just take it over to the juniper graveyard. And then I think I might hit that tree, and then maybe that one over there as well. Because I'm just trying to hit the trees that are just like right in our little path, that we drive and stuff, that we go around, and just clean those up. I definitely want to hit this one as well, but before I keep moving that way, I'm going to backtrack a little bit and clean those two up a little bit more. I just hit this one because obviously I was removing the dead tree, and I was just like, well, I'm right here, might as well just start cutting some limbs down. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna set you down. You guys can just watch me work. Let me see. Okay, let's let's do this. Whew. All right. So, I mean, I think it looks way better. You know, just cleans it up. This, you know, it was like this, or it was like this. Now it's like this. I think it looks better. Okay, so I'm gonna go dump this stuff and then keep going, I guess. Let's go. So I've been trying to kind of separate it, you know, from the freshly cut stuff from the old, you know, dried up, dead stuff. Just because, yeah, I don't know. I know this won't be good as for firewood anytime soon, just because it's fresh. It's just going to make a bunch of smoke, stuff like that. So if we do need firewood, I don't want to have to dig through a bunch of green, freshly cut stuff to get to the dry stuff. So just kind of separating it just a little bit. So, you know, I'm still gonna come and clean this up, rake it. You know, I'll probably trim this one up a little bit. You know, I got to finish the rock path, you know, all the way. I'm gonna loop around here, you know, and then go down that way. But, you know, it's looking better. I definitely like it. I like that now, you know, the dead trees are gone. You know, you're not looking at that eyesore. You know, this one looks a lot better. So I'm happy. This one too looks good. Looks a lot better. So, you know, just a work in progress. We do a little bit, you know, each week here and there. And that's how we get things done. Obviously, we got to come and get this guy, this tree. You know, they look nice, you know, big and full and bushy and stuff, but it's just, I don't know, I like it better trimmed. It just looks cleaner. And again, you know, this is our, you know, our driveway or our road right by the cabin. So I want this area to look nice. And yeah, so we're just gonna keep doing it. Keep going, keep cleaning it up, keep working. I think maybe tomorrow we're gonna try to burn one of those stumps, so I'll try to film some of that. But I'm pretty much gonna call it a day. I'm pretty tired, and I think me and Ashley are gonna go do something. I'm not quite sure what. Probably go on a ride on the side-by-side or something, but we get cleaned up and go relax. So I appreciate everyone tuning in for today's video of tree trimming and yard maintenance. And we're trying to get our subscriber count up. So we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're not currently subscribed, you're new to our channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you are already subscribed, thank you. Appreciate your guys' support. Luna just took off again. Look at this girl. Gosh, every time she just sees a rabbit and she's just gone, takes off.